Hello there, my royal family. This is Zion Jones with Rock Life with Zion. Oh my gosh, I am so excited tonight. I'm always excited, right? I know you're always excited because I know I have something in store for you all. We're going to have some awesome special guests today. That's going to be Karen Gatson Alexander. Thank you for joining me, Tim. Thank you for joining Albert. I just want you guys to stay tuned because we have something so awesome for you tonight. These mashed potatoes is all about relationships. And I have Karen in the house, and we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about dating without sex. I know a lot of people can't believe it. It's just like not eating for some of us. But really, it is a blessing because this show is all about who's in my bed. So last week we had an awesome time, and tonight we're going to even have a greater time because we have a special guest. I love her to life, and I'm so excited to have her on here with us. So right now, what I'm going to do is because I have Chiquita, she's going to come and she's going to tell you all about what's going over here with Rock Life Network, some events and things that we're doing. We'd love for you to participate and be a part. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right. Thank you. Hello, Facebook family. I am Chiquita. Thanks so much for joining us on Rock Life with Zion. Right off the top, I have breaking news for you guys. We're super excited about this breaking news because it is major A-lister news and you're gonna want to hear it. First of all, tonight, let's start there. Zion interviews Karen Gatson Alexander. She is the CEO of Taka Productions and a relationship advisor on the web series Happy Husbands Wives Club. They're going to have an interesting discussion on mashed potatoes, part 3. Who's in my bed? Sex before marriage, dating without sex. And as I said, we have breaking news. We're going to get there. This is major. Breaking news for the first time ever on Rock Life with Zion. Major news, but first, if you need or want one-on-one spiritual counseling or your business is seeking live advertising, or you want to donate or volunteer, we can be reached at rocklifenetwork@gmail.com or at 800-830-1488. Also, a reminder, Zion may be available for speaking engagements. Again, 800-830-1488 for details. And on December 1st through 3rd, John Blasingame and New Day Associates presents the 5th annual All-Star Fashion, Film, and Music Industry Weekend in Newark, New Jersey. Tickets are available right now at Eventbrite. Also, the event with John Blasingame, he's going to be having the 39th Annual Designer Legend Award presented to Bob Sumner, the former Vice President of Def Jam. Bob Sumner is credited for discovering such comedic talents as Chris Tucker, Dave Chappelle, Bill Bellamy, Monique, and the late, great Bernie Mac, among others. On October 21st, Zion will be a part of the Reverend Jesse Jackson fundraising gala and fashion show at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills. The event will be hosted by Judge Greg Mathis and will include special guest Congresswoman Maxine Waters. We absolutely love her. And it's also going to have special musical performers. Our very own Zion will be hosting the fashion show along with Rodney Lynn. And the fashion show contributors include producer John Blasingame, producer and director of designs Rodney Lynn. Zion, along with Kevon Lindley, will serve as the fashion coordinators. The fashion will be provided by Gigi Hunter of Gigi Hunter Collections, Beverly Alavase of New York, Walter Najapke of Winston Lee Collection, and it will also include Beverly Hills celebrity hairstylist St. Jacques and celebrity hairstylist Shalina Allen. Makeup will also be provided by Spicy Cosmetics. Tickets and tables are available right now through Eventbrite. And with all that action, you're definitely going to be worthy of your ticket and your time. Reverend Jesse Jackson's fundraising gala and fashion show is brought to you by New Day Associates and the Rainbow Push Coalition, producer John Blasingame, and producer Rodney Lynn. The red carpet and reception begins at 6 p.m. Dinner and showtime starts at 7, and that's going to be the place to be October 21st in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hilton. Again, tickets and tables are available at Eventbrite. Here we go. So excited about this. Do you remember last Sunday we told you there was going to be an A-list performer at the Reverend Jesse Jackson fundraising gala, but we couldn't reveal it just yet. They were kind of waiting in the wings. Well, we can't exactly reveal that performer just yet because it still hasn't been confirmed. However, at noon today, Zion received a phone call, and it is major. A major triple A. She's an icon, a legend. When you think quintessential Hollywood, you think of her. She is Ms. Hollywood. She's going to be co-hosting alongside our own Judge Greg Mathis. But can't tell you that yet. But stay tuned because we are going to reveal her name later in the show. Whew, this is so exciting. Well, you've been hearing a lot about the name John Blasingame. He is a well-respected producer and fashion mogul. John Blasingame is the former publisher of Upscale Magazine and Hype Hair Magazine, and he's currently the CEO of New Day Associates, which is sponsoring the Reverend Jesse Jackson fundraising gala and fashion show in Beverly Hills on October 21st. Please, Facebook family, Rock Life with Zion family, help me welcome Mr. John Blasingame. Welcome, Mr. Blasingame.
Thank you. First of all, let me correct you. I'm director for Upscale Magazine.
Former director of Upscale Magazine, okay.
And founding publisher for Hype Hair Magazine.
And founding publisher. Thank you so much, Mr. Blasingame. We are super excited. We've been talking for the last few weeks right here on Rock Life with Zion about your upcoming Reverend Jesse Jackson fundraising gala. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Hosting the fashion portion for the Rainbow Coalition fundraising gala. And it's also Reverend Jesse Jackson's 76th birthday party. So it's promised to be an exciting gala fashion show and fundraising dinner. And we have a lot of folks coming in. I just got a news report from Reverend Jackson that Barbara White hosting the event this weekend. So it's, as I said, we have a lot of exciting guests that will be coming out. And I look forward to everyone out in the LA area to come on out and enjoy and meet and greet some of the special guests that we have at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California.
Mr. Blasingame, we all love and respect Reverend Jesse Jackson. Can you talk a little bit about your friend, Reverend Jackson?
Well, he's an icon. Afro-American, run for president of the United States. And he's been an activist for many years. Walked with Dr. Martin Luther King.
Big deal. Thank you. That's a big deal. Absolutely.
And he's well respected in the world, not nationally, but globally.
Oh, absolutely. He is respected globally, no doubt about it. And so you said it's going to be 86th birthday and the fashion show. The 87th birthday and fashion gala and fundraising gala. You want to talk a little bit about the fundraising?
Well, let me say this. It's definitely for the rights of folks, voting rights and education. That's what he's very much an activist as far as education. And he's been doing that for many years with the Rainbow Coalition.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mr. Blessing Game. And I know undoubtedly, as you said, Reverend Jackson is an icon, no doubt about it. But you are also well respected in the community globally because what you do is also internationally. Talk to us why it's important to you to give back because you do it a lot. Your name is well known.
I went back for many years. I worked with the fashion shows that I've been doing for 39 years.
39 years, that's huge.
39 years. We've been young fashion designers, models, male and female, to Paris, London, or Rome. Into a spark for them to get into the fashion arena. You know, it's very difficult. It was back in the day. It was very difficult for young break into the fashion arena. But what I would do is put on a show and invite all my folks. Let me just start out by saying this. I started out working with Hearst magazine. I was one of the first blacks that they hired in their newsstand division.
Yeah, Hearst magazine is really big. They were one of the forefronts of magazines and publishing.
Magazines, Cosmo, Good House, Harper's Bazaar, Town and Country, Sports Fulfill, House Beautiful, and a host of other things. It's called Comac now. It was just started out as the national distributors Comac. And when I started out, it was a company called ICT, which was a division of the Hearst Corporation.
Yeah.
As I said, I was one of the first blacks that they hired in that division. And can you imagine the young gentleman with an afro at that time?
We love afros.
Back in those days, with, the occasions that I worked with. And, it was difficult. But, my thoughts was, I'm learning and I'm understanding a force where many blacks don't have this opportunity to learn the circulation and division of magazines. Back in those days, the only magazine we knew was Negro Digest, which was Ebony magazine, and that was our only national publication.
Yeah, we remember.
They would not even let Ebony on the newsstand. And Mr. Johnson.
The late, great Bob Johnson, absolutely.
Bob Johnson, John Johnson, had to start his own newsstand circulation with black distributors, which is his publication house. Okay, and as I said, I was the first black that Hearst hired, and I learned and I moved forward. In 1985, I started my own newsstand consulting company, and in the 90s, I think it was 92, I started publications. Today's Black Woman, I Dare.
Yeah, Today's Black Woman, and yeah, we do remember that, no doubt about it. You were behind that.
So it's been a wonderful, wonderful trip. I mean, I've helped a lot of folks get their magazine started. I've worked with Bernard Bronner for upscale.
Yeah.
In fact, I worked with Jonathan Blount.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed Lewis when they first started that magazine.
Yeah, just to remind our audience, Bernard Bronner of Bronner Brothers Hair. A lot of people know him from his shows in Atlanta and other places.
Their product is they have one of the largest hair shows in the country.
They sure do, yeah.
The National Hair Show every year.
Mm-hmm. A lot of attendees there as well. I want to also move forward, if you will, Mr. Blessing Game. December 1st through 3rd, you're going to be honoring with the Legacy Award Mr. Bob Sumner, the former vice president of Def Jam. Can you tell us a little bit about the Legacy Award?
Yes, we will be honoring Mr. Bob Sumner. Bob has been the comedy. So they just celebrated their 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
At the same place that we're doing the gala fundraiser at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. About a month or two ago. And, Bob Sumner, as I said, has been responsible for the careers such as Bernie Mac, Mike Epps, Dave Chappelle, Sean Underwood, Bill Bellamy, and a host of others. As they say, just an icon. They come from the industry. And now he's working with a new project that'll be coming out shortly called Laugh Mob.
Yep, we've heard about Laugh Mob, absolutely. Any final words for our Rock Life with Zion audience, Mr. Blasingame? Anything you just want them to know?
Rock out. First of all, I want to say to your audience, continue to rock out with Zion. Okay? Very spiritual person. And her co-host is a very spiritual people. And, I've known Zion for many, many years, respected her as a young lady, and just continue to rock out with Zion.
Oh, thank you.
Right? And we look forward, and as I said, we look forward to seeing you on October the 21st. We promise you a wonderful event. Zion is going to be coordinating our models. She has the models out there in LA that's going to turn the show out. And it's just going to be a fun-filled, spiritual evening that evening. And by the way, I just want to mention, if I may, Zion, we were talking about December 1st to the 3rd. We will be having our All-Star Fashion Weekend on Friday, December 1st. We will be having our artist showcase, which is syndicated. Lenny Green from WBLS will be one of our host VIP guests for the talent event that we'll be doing that night. We have talents from all over the country. All right, that will be competing for the first prize of magazine interview. Havana White, $500 Havana White, and just the network and the presence of some of the folks that are in the music industry. And on Saturday, we will be celebrating 40th anniversary. Okay, party and fashion show. We have some designers that will be from the, should I say, Afro-American designers.
Yeah.
That will are young, up-and-coming designers. It's just great networking with the folks that we have in the house that will be from the fashion, film, and music industry. And Sunday, we will have our show, our 26th Annual International Designer, and our 20th Annual International Beauty Show, which will be hosted by Hype Deer, Upscale, and She's Magazine. So it's a fun-filled networking weekend. And as you well know, your net worth is your net worth. So, as I always say, if you want to take it to the next level, don't hang around with folks that are on the low level. Keep it moving, because that's what life is all about. Networking and moving on.
Thank you so much. That is Mr. John Blasingame of New Day Associates. Thank you so much, Mr. Blasingame. We appreciate having you, and we're going to see you on December 1st through 3rd for the 5th Annual All-Star Fashion, Film, and Music Industry Weekend in Newark, New Jersey, and then on October the 21st at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. We'll see you and Zion will be handling the fashion portion of the show. So that is fantastic. We are getting ready to get ready with your girl, Zion. She has special guest, Karen Gatson, Alexander. I'm Chiquita. Thanks for staying with us. Right now, here is Zion. All right. All right. I am so happy that you guys have joined me. I'm so happy you're rocking with Zion. You're rocking with Zion because there's only one way to rock, you know? So I am excited. I hope you got all that information. It's a wonderful, wonderful event. If you're interested, I posted it for Eventbrite. So that way you can go on there and you can purchase. I'll be sending all that information out. Stay tuned too, because you're going to have Chiquita come back and tell you that A-list, I mean, this person is phenomenal. So anyway, without further ado, give me one moment. I need to get that real quick, and we're going to go ahead and get Karen on the line. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much. Waiting a little bit too. Let some more people come on here so they can get some of these mashed potatoes. We got enough mashed potatoes for everybody. All right. Yes, yes, yes. And thank you for joining Larry and John and Akil. I'm so grateful that you guys are on tonight. We're going to talk about relationships. And I want you guys, if you have any questions, if you have anything to say, just ask, you know, or just, hey, you might have some ingredients in these mashed potatoes that we need to put a little seasoning in. But no further ado, I want to introduce to you my beautiful, most royal sister who I love. Oh my gosh, she is so awesome. Karen Gatson Alexander. All right. Hey Karen, how are you? Oh, thank you, sis, for coming on. I just really was talking to my sister about this mashed potatoes, and today we're going to talk to you about who's in my bed. If you were here for episode 1 and 2, you know the first person that should be in your bed is the Most High God first. This is why we're talking about sex before marriage. And tonight, Karen and I are going to talk to you about dating without sex. Karen, so why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, let me tell you, when I was young and naive, you know, we all make mistakes, but I basically did not have the philosophy that I live by today. You know, I would date, and, you know, of course, I would sleep with the person, and I would always hope that this would be my boyfriend or my significant other. And, you know, sooner or later you find out that that person is not the correct match, you know, for you. And, of course, you know, when you're young, trial and error. But, you know, obviously, we are the bride of Christ, and God comes first, and that's who we should be in bed with. And as you mature, you learn that it is better to refrain from having sex in a relationship right off the bat. It is better to wait. And right now, I can honestly say I waited until I got married, but it is better to wait and not jump into anything and to really take your time to get to know not only the other individual that you want to have the relationship with, but to know yourself, because then you can truly have a happy, loving relationship.
Yes, I love that. And like Karen said, you know, when we're young, you know, I say that the boyfriend, girlfriend is a license to have sex. And that's all we knew growing up. We didn't know that really that making love was sacred. It was something that that was very sacred between a husband and a wife. Karen, let me ask you, how, you know, you said you saved yourself for your, you know, for your husband that you have married, Tim Alexander. I mean, talk about how was that experience, waiting and dating and, you know, trusting God when the right one came along?
Well, I have to be honest, it wasn't actually easy. Because first of all, I had to get in tune with what and be very clear to God and myself. What did I want? What type of relationship did I want? Did I want to just have another relationship, to have a relationship out of loneliness, or just to have somebody that I could call my boyfriend or my significant other? Or did I want to really have something committed for a lifetime and take vows in front of a minister, before God? And I decided I wanted marriage. I decided to take that road. I said, I will wait. I will not date and have sex before this person makes that commitment of marriage to me. Now, of course, 4 years went by, and you do get frustrated, and you say, am I ever going to meet that person? Mm-hmm. I went on dates. I would tell them, I am not here for a one-night stand. I'm not here to sleep with you. I am here to get to know you and see where this develops. And that's how you weed out the guys, honestly, that are not in it, to actually want to have that commitment with a person, whether it's marriage or a serious long-term relationship of any kind. They'll disappear because men will show you right away once you make that statement, well, I was just looking for some fun. Mm-hmm. And, say, God bless you, and it's good because, that's a blessing for you because then you don't make that mistake and get that heartache. Mm-hmm. Because believe me, once you sleep with that guy, you actually bond with him. Mm-hmm. And women don't realize that. Because you slept with him, you bond with him. He can go ahead and sleep with someone else the next day, the next week. He's not going to be bonded to you. But as women, we naturally bond with the one we sleep with. Mm-hmm. So in the interim of waiting, I just dated, and I made myself very clear, of what my intentions were, that I am not going to sleep with anyone. I want to take my time and get to know them. Mm-hmm. And I finally decided that, God will perceive the right guy at the right time. And he did, because now I've been happily married for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And I found out that the person that I married, my husband, was celibate for 8 years. Woo! So he was saving himself, obviously, for me. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you do in the meantime? You say, oh my God, that's a long time, 4 years, 8 years, maybe a year for some people. You get to really to know yourself in the sense, you cannot be with someone if you're not happy within yourself. Mm-hmm. So you need to make yourself happy. So date yourself, do things, do a hobby, learn new interests, go out with your girlfriend. Just do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel beautiful and secure so that when you meet that person, because you're not wasting your time at all, you are actually preparing yourself for your divine king. And a king wants to come and meet his queen, and she has to be well maintained, well manicured, work out, eat a healthy diet, look your best, feel your best inside and out, so that he can recognize his queen when he meets her.
That's right. I love that, sis, because, too, I wanted to back up a little bit because, like we're talking about, dating without having sex. And I know I mentioned on another show, because, you let guys, normally when a girl's keeping herself, she'll let them know. Because, men can be, kind of focused on that particular thing, and you're let them know, look, that's not who I am. That's not what I want. I'm in bed with God, and I'm saving myself for my king. I'm having faith and trust in God that he's going to send me the right person. Now, there are guys out there, and I mentioned this before, they know that, and the first thing they'll say was, oh, I want to get married. Oh, you're my wife, because some of them are not honest, and what I told the kings out there, I said, you know what, if a woman's in bed with God and she tells you, you better run if you have the wrong intention, because it makes you accountable if you cause her to fall because of your lies, So it's very important because men have to be in bed with God just like women, we're in bed with God. And I love that you said that Timothy saved himself for, 7 years?
8 years.
8 years. So listen, women, because a lot of us think, there's no good men out there. There's no men that can do it. And I love the fact, because even when you talk to our men, they think that's impossible, And I said, no, it's not. And no one has ever died for not having sex. So it's not. It's a psychological thing. It's a thing that we accepted as a child because that's really a lot of what we knew, boyfriend, girlfriend. That's what I knew when I grew up, like you said. And then you end up in this relationship, it doesn't work, then you're in another relationship, not understanding that you're carrying the spirit. And that's why I want to talk about the bag of potatoes, the potatoes that you're carrying, many and many other things in that relationship to your next relationship. So sis, let me ask you, because it was 4 years, and I'm sure in that 4 years you were preparing yourself, like you said, and spending time with you, having a relationship with God, preparing yourself for your king. Now, how did you release and heal yourself from saying, so you wouldn't take that baggage, that bag of potatoes with you of those other relationships that failed or maybe hurt your heart, and bringing it to your place where you are now with your husband?
Well, basically a lot of prayers, and I've always been one to keep a journal. So I would basically look at a relationship of the past and journal it and say, thank you, God, for this lesson. Thank you, God, that although he wasn't the right guy for me, I learned something not only about myself, but I know what I will and will not accept. And you set up your boundaries. And you also don't get discouraged when you go to bed at night. You think of it as more as, okay, another day has passed, another year, month, whatever the case may be, and I still haven't met my king. You say, God, thank you that I am one day closer to meeting my king.
Oh, I love it. Say it one more time, sis.
Thank you, God, that I am one day closer to meeting my king.
You hear that?
Hallelujah.
Oh, that is awesome. And man, you can say it for your women, for the queen,
Yes.
I'm one day closer to meeting my king.
Closer.
One day closer.
And it's basically your attitude and the right mindset of thinking, and it doesn't seem like it. Because when I realized it's been 4 years, it honestly, Diane, did not feel like 4 years. Because the mindset was like, I know I'm going to get married. I know God has a special man for me. He's going to bring me the divine one, as I used to say, and it's going to just be magical. And the thing is I'm going to be prepared, and I'm going to be ready to receive him. And I'm going to let go of bitterness, anger, resentment. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, it's taking forever. Or why me? I'm not going to have a pity party. I'm going to just say, no, the right one. And it's going to be just everything I dreamed of and more. Because our God is a supernatural God.
Yes, he
beyond
is.
our expectations. Okay?
Yes, he
so
is.
it's basically, if you have that mindset, I think you can do it. You've got to believe you can do it.
Yeah. And I like what you said too about, letting go of bitterness and angry and, things that we go through, because a lot of these relationships, this is where we start putting up walls. This is where we start, when we do get in another relationship, we're afraid to love again because we've been hurt, and it's like, how do I just become free of loving again? And I know what God showed me. He showed me, because we have voids within our hearts. And we always trying to put someone in that void. And no one will ever be able to fit that void, because those voids within ourselves are actually there to be fulfilled by God. And once we feel God in that void and become love oozes out of us. And you don't have to look for it, because it will actually gravitate to you because of who you are. So tell me, if you were to, actually teach someone, a young person or someone about pain and just, releasing all that you had to go through in the past relationships, what are some of the steps that you would actually give them to do that?
Well, I believe you have to just get honest with yourself, because it takes two in a relationship. And you can't always look at the other person and say, well, he was a cheater, or he was a liar, or he was no good, or he, whatever the case may be, that's blame. And whenever you blame someone else and you don't look at yourself, that right there is a major faux pas. So you have to just get downright dirty honest. Yes. And if you need to cry, if you need to share some of your thoughts with a trusted, girlfriend or family member and have them mirror you, then that's what you need to do. But you need to really detox and to learn, because remember, every relationship is a learning experience.
Yes.
So, I mean, we've all been hurt, we've all been suffered, but say, you know what, just because that happened to me one time, that doesn't mean it's going to happen to me again. When I hear single women say there's no good men out there, that to me is sad, because there are good men out there. You just have to find them. And one way to find a good man, and I'm going to tell you this, is who you associate with. If you're going to be around friends, and I'm talking about girlfriends, who are always saying that negative stuff about there's no good guys, or he's no good, or he's a mama's boy, or whatever the case may be, you don't need to be around them, because who you associate with rubs off on you, and you don't need that energy. You need to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, love God, and that are very positive, and that also are supportive in your quest for meeting that divine God. And through doing that, that actually is a key to getting what you want, and not having someone just say, well, you're my friend and you can do no wrong. No, call me on it. If you thought I had a nasty attitude, or I'm a complainer, a whiner, or I just don't have a positive outlook, then let me know if you're a true friend, because a guy can spot that immediately. When he looks into a woman, he'll say, oh my God, she's got all these rotten potatoes, all these baggage.
Tell me
Why
about
would it be around her?
I love it.
Why?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love that.
You won't attract him, you'll make him run from you.
Yeah.
So another key is who you surround yourself with. So basically, it's who you surround yourself with, even if it's one or two people. That's a blessing. You don't need a crowd. And that person basically can mirror and reflect and call you on your bad habits. And, I feel it's good to go into prayer and meditation. I feel it's great to have a journal. Write down your thoughts. Release everything. And then when you release it, let it go.
Yes.
Because you can't move forward into the future if you have one leg back in the past.
Okay. And you hear that, guys? You can't take that baggage with you. You can't take that bag of potatoes with you. You can't take those old relationships with you. You can't be the one that's pointing at every relationship saying it's their fault. Relationships are built and created for us to see ourselves, and what can you do to become a better you. If you want something, you have to be the change that you want to see. And like you said, if a man wants a good woman, of course a woman wants a good man. A man wants a woman of substance. He would love a woman that's saving herself and not promiscuous, and have some wisdom with her, and just know how to be a good wife. And for us, for women, we need our kings. We need our soldiers. It's necessary that you guys be like her husband, Timothy. And, for 8 years, he saved himself. That's like walking with God. That's, preparing yourself. I don't want this. And it is possible. With Christ, all things are possible. So it's not something that you have to do. Now you get in relationships and you're not happy. You're not happy with them. And like she said, you get in one relationship, it doesn't work, and you're in another one. And you're carrying that baggage with you from each one. So you have to learn how to, like she said, pray and meditate. Get in bed with the Most High God, okay? When you get in bed with him, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive the people that have hurt you, if that tried to attack you. Because really, pain becomes your teacher, because pain talks to you and say, well, I don't want a relationship like this anymore. Or I don't want to, be in something like this. And I want to recognize the change that I need to make to be that better relationship, because I don't want to bring that into the one that I know that God will send to me because of my love and obedience to him. So thank you for sharing that. And Karen.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Yes. Also, now this is very good. I love this part. Now, tell us, because you were dating and it's like, oh no, that's not it, because you'll know in your spirit and you're waiting and so forth. Well, how did you know it was Timothy?
How did I know it was Timothy? Well, first of all, he's like no other guy that I ever met. Second, I want to point out that until you come to terms with, your mistakes of previous relationships, because there's always, like I said, if you in a relationship, you can't put the blame always on the other person. You're also responsible because you chose that person. That person will keep reappearing in your life many times, but in different forms. So that's why I state that Timothy was like no other. He was a true gentleman from the very beginning, in every sense of the word, love of family and love of God. But basically, I could say by the way he treated me, and he was relentless. He would not take no for an answer. I was the one, actually, who was unsure that he was the one, but he knew immediately that I was the one. So it was the irony in that is crazy, because I waited and waited and waited, and then I was like, could this really be? Or am I imagining it? You know, because, you know, as women, we have that self-doubt, like, is this really happening? And please, you know, you don't want to self-sabotage yourself, because as women, sometimes we do that. We ask for something, and we end up working against ourselves. But he was very committed and determined. He knew immediately that he was not going to let me go, and that's how I knew this man is serious. This guy is what I've been waiting for all these years. So thank you, Lord.
Yes, I love that. A man that know what he wants. And the beautiful thing about it, because you know, a lot of guys too think they know what they want, you know, but then what they want is not genuine or consistent. You know, say for instance, you like, you know, I can get guys, it's like, oh, you're my wife, or I want to marry you or whatever. And you try the spirit and there's no persistency, there's no consistency. You can see lies, you know what I mean? But when you have a person, like you saying, like Timothy, being, you know, Christ-like, family, loving you, taking no for answer because he knows that you are the one, and treating you, most of all, treating you like the queen that you are. And that's important, because just saying it is nothing. But the action, this man took action in it. You know, he treated you like the queen that you are.
And that's something, Zion, that a lot of women have to realize, that if a man says he's going to do something and he doesn't do it, that should, like, you know, be a red flag. Because every time Tim said he was going to call me, he called. When we had a date, we had a date. There's no excuses. I mean, God forbid, you know, if there was a family tragedy or an emergency, that's understandable if something like that happens. But if a person says something and always has an excuse or never follows through or is not committed, well, why would you want to consider being in a long-term relationship or marrying someone that you can't even trust them with their own word, because your word is your want?
That's true.
I mean, come on.
You're right. The word, and I say that, the word is your bond. So truly, if someone, because the word was created, God said, let there be light, and there was light. So if you have a person that you're dating right now, and they're not consistent, they're not doing what they said they're supposed to do, and you're anticipating them calling you, and they're not calling you when they say, they're not coming by when they say they are. I mean, those are big signs, you know what I mean? If you can't do this, if you can't be a man of your word, and trust me, when we get married, we as women, this man becomes the head of our household. And that's a big deal. You know, you do not want someone to be the head of your household and they're not being loyal. I mean, they cannot protect you. They cannot take care of you. You can't lean on their word for what's necessary in the household. So we have to set our standards. And that's what Karen did here, Karen did, is set her standards and knew from her other relationships, like we all should, to say, you know what, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I know who I am and whose I am. And what I deserve. And what I deserve, exactly. And then when it comes, you will know, because that person will be someone who respects you, who loves you, their word is truth to you, you know, and you can have a peace about it, right? Now,
absolutely.
What I want to ask you, because everybody knows, because you know in the Bible it says that when you get married that you should take a year off. Because that's very important, because in relationships, you really need that time to really get to know each other, you know, because you saved yourself. You saved yourself until now that you're together and learning each other and being there for each other. And so be it that God said, you know, we need to go ahead and go up and put ourselves apart from a lot of things, but put ourselves within each other and learn that bond and have that bond. How do you say that the meshing came with you and Timothy. Tell them about the meshing, because I don't know if you know the meshing process, or the potatoes. The first thing we do when we make potatoes is the peel, okay? Because I know that when you get married, you're not the same. You're two different people. You have two different ways of thinking, two different ways of living. You might have some things in common, but you got the peeling going on, And then, of course, the peeling, after that, we do the cutting. After the cutting, you get in the hot boiling water, and then we do the whipping, and so that means we're going through a lot of processes. So tell us the process, like when you first got married and you saved yourself, now the process began. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, it's definitely an adjustment, because when two people come together that are different, and if you've been single for a while and you live alone, set in your ways, and of course the other person is, whether they realize it or not, you have to adjust. And you have to be open and receptive to adjusting. And the best way is through communication. And a lot of women, I find, are very aggressive. Now, I don't know whether it comes from the home or whether it just comes from the media, what we see on television and in movies. You have to detox, okay? You have to remember your femininity. So if you get annoyed, like I would, honey, you left your shoes there, your socks in the wrong place. Is it worth a battle to have an argument over? You have to choose your battle. Or is it, if you say it in a sweet, feminine voice, honey, could you remember to please put your socks in the hamper when they're dirty and not throw them on the floor? I bet you that after you do that a couple of times, he will respond and he will naturally do it. He will apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, hon, my bad. And he will do it without you having to become, quote unquote, a nag, a nuisance, or anything that might be upsetting to him, because you two are learning each other. So women have to remember that the key to any problem when you're meshing in the beginning is to remember who you are as a feminine being. Don't be abrasive. Don't be aggressive. Don't be like, now I told you, or anything like that. Your tone is very, very important. And so I had to learn that, because believe me, I was guilty of that. I would be like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. And, not meaning to be that way, but it's like, I've lived by myself and I'm used to doing it this way. And why can't you get used to it? I'm a neat freak. You're a little bit of a slob in that area. And, so all of that you have to learn. Of course, everybody's different. It could be the opposite. Maybe the guy is the neat one and the gal is the sloppy one. You never know. But you have to adjust, but communication is the key. Not to get angry, to just, be calm, and to address these things at a proper time. You might not want to do it if you find that you're very emotional or you're hot-tempered. Wait, and then say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about something that's kind of upsetting to me. And when you approach a subject like that, guys do listen, and they do hear, and they're far more receptive to change. Also, by waiting to not have sex until we were married, the sex is amazing, because you both have something to look forward to. And, it's like the highlight. It's like, this is like amazing. It's our honeymoon. Now we can do it.
I know. And you know what?
And not feel like, oh my God, why did I do this when I wasn't married,
Right.
No, wait. I mean, it's just more enjoyable, because it's only a small part anyway of a marriage. It's not 100% the marriage, sex, but it's something that you find even sexier and more enjoyable when you have waited, opposed to not waiting.
Oh, I love that. Now, this is the
passion is there. It's like 100 off of the Richter scale.
And you know what? I say, really, because now you're doing it God's way. And when you do it God's way, that's the best way. And so and this is an analogy, because I talked to someone before and they was like, I got to try it before I buy it, right? So the conversation I had with them, because biblically, our sisters and brothers, before they used to be in their parents' house, they would come from their dad's house to their husband's house. And normally they were virgins, so they really didn't know anything else, So But us, being it that we have boyfriends and we felt like, oh, we know we don't like that right there, or this one's not good, so in the bed, and then all this different with size and all this different things. So we feel that is important. Then we come to the point where, oh, well, gosh, you know what? I need to know if I'm going to marry this person, if it's good or not. And the point is that God has shown me is that when you trust in him and you have faith in him and you're waiting and keeping yourself and being in the bed with him again, he showed me with the ocean. He showed me this big ocean. And he said to me, because you trust in me and you have faith in me and you're in bed with me, first of all, when a man wants to be with me, he has to get permission from my Father. He has to get permission from my Father. And also, if he's my husband, he's going to get in bed with me and God. And it showed me with these waters, Karen, which was so amazing. He said, just like the waters, I will conform him to fit. I will conform him. It will be a transformation that goes on, because now it's like me being a virgin again in the Father. So trusting him moves the faith. That faith moves the heart of God and the love making that you have. Let me tell you, you haven't did anything. You haven't experienced anything if you think you're having sex in the flesh. You understand, with the fornication or committing adultery. It is nothing like you saving yourself and trusting in God. And just like you and Timothy, you waited all these years, and now you're making love with God in your bed and you're covered like never before. Now, can you tell our audience, because this was a question that they asked a couple weeks ago, because a lot of them are afraid. It's like, you know what, I got to know what I'm getting, before I actually go ahead and marry this, because it could be the worst thing ever. Matter of fact, I have a person who said that they waited and I found out that her husband was impotent, and so it's like, how do you explain that to someone? Like, how do you just not have to, try it before you buy it?
Well, you have to really have trust. Trust in God and trust in the person. And even if when I was having sex with a boyfriend before I got married, it didn't mean that he was, quote unquote, the best lover. You still have to get to know each other's bodies. You can, express what you like, what you don't like. So really, I find that kind of like, I need to try it out, kind of irrelevant. Because let me tell you, Timothy was a great kisser. And I just knew from he's a great kisser, he's going to be fine. And when he's not fine in one area, that's where you communicate, and vice versa. Because everybody is different anyway. There's no set formula, oh, this is how you make love to someone. When you make love to someone, you don't make love just to their body. You make love to their mind and their spirit.
Yes.
So it's a three-dimensional thing. So I just find that people that say that they have to try it, it's like, like when you said back in the day when people were virgins and they didn't know what they were doing, you'll be fine. Just have trust and faith. And because everybody's different and sexual, you're going to have to still work out things. Just because you slept with the person, they could change overnight when they're married and be totally different, or not even like sex as much. Who knows? There's all these other factors. So that shouldn't be the main thing anyway. As far as trying, it should be from the heart, loving that person, wanting to spend your life with that person, and everything else, I truly believe, falls into place.
Then give them some of those factors, because it seems like, everything, it seems like that's a lot of times where people start from. And true, they're putting the cart before the horse, because really in the Bible, that's supposed to be the last, not the first. You get to know that person, you jump in the bed. You get to know, and then it's like, oh, this is great. Okay, I want to marry you. Instead of saying, let me know you. Let us connect. Let me see if you are equally yoked with me. Let me see if you are the husband or the wife that God has for me. Let me get to, test the spirit and see what's in there, because I'm not marrying just what you are on the outside. I'm going to marry your experiences. I'm going to marry your bitterness and your angriness and the things that you don't understand. Your lack of wisdom. All this is really what I marry. So let me see what's in there, So
that is absolutely true.
So what
And
are
that's
some
why
of the?
it's so important.
Go ahead.
No, that's why it's so important to be in tune with yourself and to spend time with yourself to be happy, because you can't look at the other person to bring you happiness. So if you spend time with yourself and make yourself happy, that just radiates and exudes into the other person. And of course, you two should be a perfect match based on that.
Right.
From if they're happy and you're happy, but you know, that's why you need to take that time. I think people jump out of one relationship, get into another one because they're afraid to be by themselves, and they haven't taken the time to explore their inner feelings and to really be clear on what they want, because you have to be clear for God to bring it to you. So when I said I want a king and I want him to be X, Y, and Z, loving, love God, have a great family, treat me like a queen, respect me, be supportive of my endeavors, you know, grow together and not apart. Be my best friend. You know, if a guy can be with you for 4 seasons and not sleep with you, 4 seasons, then you know that there's definitely potential for that guy to be your significant other or your mate, because you have no choice but to do things with that person and to really get to know them and not have anything physical.
Right.
So you get to learn their interests. You get to have intelligent conversations. You get to do fun things that you both enjoy. And, of course, disagree. See how you two act when you disagree. Do you stop talking to each other for a week or a few days? Are you immature? Or are you adult? And just say, hey, you know, it's okay to disagree, but let's get over this and you continue on, because you mean so much to me. And that right there is all the beginnings of having a lasting relationship, because you need to be best friends.
Yes.
And that's one of the keys.
I love that. You have to be best friends. I always say, you know, your best friends, or even sometimes you can treat that person like your brother or sister. It's like, I'm married to you, but this moment right now, because it seems like a lot of times the husband and wife can clash. Like you say, it could be small stuff. It's like you put the peanut butter in the refrigerator, I like it in the cabinet. Is that really, you know what I'm saying? Now you all mad that day because you can't find the peanut butter, you know, or you didn't take out the trash the day you were supposed to. Now I got to roll it out there. Now I'm getting an attitude. And these little small things are really not what marriage is all about, you know? Like you said, and it's love, unconditional love. And that's why it's so important when you get into a relationship that you are healed, that you are all separate by yourself, not bringing all that baggage of potatoes with you, not bringing that rotten part of things that you had to deal with into your next relationship, not finding yourself not being accountable for the things that happened in your last relationship. You should be able to go. And now if you're noticing a pattern that you're going from one relationship to another, and then you find out that the person is doing the same thing in that relationship in the other one, it's time for you to really look at yourself. Now, either it's you that's doing the same thing, or you have a pattern or a cycle where you're choosing the same kind of person. Now, what would you tell them? Because, you know, sometimes you can get stuck in that, you know, especially, you know, I know because I'm a woman, like we can get stuck in the pattern of getting a certain kind of guy, which is not good for us. What would you tell the youth or even a woman out there to say, you know, how did you actually take a view of yourself and say, you know what, this is not the kind of man I know I should be with. How can I get myself out of this pattern?
Well, basically, if you respect yourself, you will definitely not accept any disrespect from another man. So you have to respect yourself enough. If you feel disrespected by him, then you need to get out of that relationship and get out of that pattern, because you're attracting guys to disrespect you. And, you know, it's not an easy thing to do, but you have to just have strong faith, pray, and just say, I'm not going to accept this anymore. I'm not going to be disrespected. I deserve better. And also for guys, a lot of women disrespect men. So I don't want this to be one-sided and me just blaming women, because we both sexes do this. But you have to take a strong look at yourself and say, I deserve respect. I deserve honesty. I deserve direct communication. I deserve to be treated like how my parents taught me to be treated. And I do find that a lot of women that have had a strong male figure in their life, such as a father, if their father wasn't there, whether it was an uncle, a grandfather, because as little girls, we looked to that male figure. And I had a great dad. And your father usually teaches you how a man should treat you. And if you're seeing behaviors that are not even anything like your father distilled in you as a child, then you need to take a look at yourself. Why am I choosing these guys that treat me like crap, that just, lie to me or do this or do that? That's not acceptable. I deserve better. I respect myself more. It's time for me to move on. Good luck. God bless you. May you find what you're looking for, but this is not for me. But a lot of people get into that trap of, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be lonely. You know what? Get over it.
Yes.
Because you know what? You're never going to meet the right guy God has destined for you to meet. And you know what? Get real. Maybe you need to be alone. Maybe you need to look at yourself for a few months before you jump into the next relationship. It's one of those things that you have to pretty much come to terms with, and it may not be it may not be feel good at the time, but it's something you have to purge and detox yourself from. But I say, look at how your father or whoever the father figure was in your life treated you, because that's how you learn. My dad opened the car door. So, Timothy, he opens the car door. I expect nothing less than that from a man. He pulls the chair out if we're at a restaurant. We hold hands. It's what you will allow. And a lot of times women will just brush over it. Oh, that's okay. He doesn't do that. No. Deep inside, I think you really want him to do that. Why are you allowing him not to do that? Or I've heard guys say they have done that for women, and women have not even acknowledged them. That's a crime. You should know better to say thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Compliment them.
Yes.
It goes both ways, guys. Love that.
Yes, they do.
Because yes, they do. So I would say, it all comes down to respect and thinking about how you were brought up.
Yes.
Because that's where it begins. Because you see that at an early age.
Yes.
And maybe your mom wasn't in the best relationship. Maybe your dad wasn't the best gentleman or guy he could have been. However, there were other men I'm sure you've met in your life, in your family, that might have been the perfect example, and you build off of that, because sometimes, some people aren't as fortunate, and unfortunately they're dealt a different hand.
Right. And some don't have fathers. And like you said, some
Exactly.
may not have a good father, but what I would recommend is that let the Heavenly Father be your father, and learn his ways and learn what he says that a husband should be, because it tells you biblically what a husband is to be to you. So when you have him in your bed and you have God in your bed as your husband, he's our husband and he's our father. So first of all, it's like, okay, well, hey, you're not showing those attributes like my Father, the Most High God. I don't see love. I don't see patience. I don't see love, suffering. These are the fruits of the Spirit. These are the things that you should have, and he said to respect your wife, not to be harsh towards her, to love her, all these things. So these are things, if you don't have a father or you have not had a chance to be in a good environment with your dad, go ahead. You should first adopt those things that the Most High says that your husband should be to you, and vice versa for you men, because like you said, not leaving the men out, because men are our kings and we are the woman was created for the man, and just loving them and building them with our support, and support as far as giving them, being a very virtuous woman, like you were Tim, you were the virtuous woman, you came to him with substance, you spent time with yourself, you understood your relationship with God and you was filled. Because we can't go into going into relationships empty, expecting that person to love us. Because I'm going to tell you, if you go into a relationship empty, going in expecting someone to love you, instead of you going into that relationship to love someone else, you're never going to be fulfilled, because there's no one on this earth that's going to love you like the Most High God. There's no one on this earth that's going to be able to please you and appease you in every area. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, I said, you know what? I said, when you're going through, because we are going to go through transitions, anything worth having good is going to be worth working for. Meaning there's going to be a work. So tell me a little bit. Yeah, tell me about, because people got to know, it's not like those soap operas that we were deceived on TV looking like everything's just so sweet and dandy. Tell them what are some of the attributes or some of the things that they need to have for this work. Because in a potato, I say when we cooking that potato, it's a work. I mean, that peeling, that means that, he's ticking me off a little bit, but there's some things that have to be cut. It has to be shedded off. It has to be peeled off so that we can mesh together. There's some compromising coming in, in effect. So what are some of the works that you can tell some of those who are waiting for their queen or king that's going to look forward to?
Well, first of all, you have to have patience. And, patience is definitely a virtue. It's not easy. You have to have patience, and you definitely have to have a strong faith in God and know that it is going to happen. Under no uncertain terms, it will happen for you, but you can't lose faith. But patience is very important, and in a relationship, you have to compromise. Now, a lot of times you think you're compromising, but you're not. You must love that other person and put that other person, because it's unconditional love, before you. And once you do that, that other person will naturally reciprocate beyond your expectations. And God will see this and continue to bless the union beyond expectations.
Ooh, I love that, sis. So, oh my gosh, you just wrapped that up so beautifully. Hold on. I feel the spirit. Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. And I'm just so excited about having Karen on here because she is truly a queen and an example of how we as women, or even men, because we're going to have her husband Timothy come on. He's going to be on I believe the 26th, a couple days, and then we're going to have Karen come back, because we got to give you some more of this instruction and this juicy thing of learning how to, keep yourself and understand the importance of it, and how we have been deceived as a people to actually get into these sexual activities, which is defiling our temple, defiling our bed, because that is sacred. And who should be in our bed is the Most High God, whether it's man or woman. And even though, I always put it on my men, only because God puts it on the man, because he created the man first. And you guys are our soldiers. You are our kings. We can't do what you do. We actually were created for you. So if you don't soldier up and put yourself in order, like her husband Timothy, he was like, look, he's like, I'm not going to fall like that anymore. It was something, I'm sure, that put him in that position to say, you know what, I'm done with that. I'm going to do things God's way. And when we do things God's way, it is the best way. God brought those laws to us, not because he doesn't want you to have a good time. He wants you to love the fact that when you keep his laws, you're going to have the best time, because when you're not keeping them, you're putting yourself into a destruction space for your life, for your soul, and for your spirit. So, Karen, is there anything that you would like to say before we wrap this up until next week?
Well, I'd like to say that for anyone out there that is looking to meet their divine king or queen, I want to say, keep the faith, be very clear and concise on what you want, and know that it can happen, and you may be like pleasantly surprised. Like for me, they may arrive in your life. Don't be quick to dismiss them, because that was one of the things. I tried to dismiss my king because I was like, I waited so long, this can't be real. No, it is real, because God is no joke. And the thing is take off the rose-colored glasses. Don't say he's boring, or he's too nice, or he's too much of a gentleman. Listen, he's the one. God is bringing you your deepest heart's desire, because he knows what's in your heart. So don't dismiss him, because he doesn't look like the Joe down the street that you used to date last year or 6 months ago. And he doesn't treat you or act like, or she doesn't, like what you had in the past. So don't make that mistake. But keep the faith, and God willing, it will happen in God's time. And I wish everyone love that I have found. I hope they find it in their life.
Woo! Me too. Woo woo! I love it, Karen. I just love it, and I'm just so grateful to you. And I've known her husband for a very long time, and I'm just like so elated that he found himself a queen. I mean, she is just a diamond, and her spirit, and she's just, the love of God, the radiance, the light just ooze out of her. Even you can go to her page, Karen Gatson Alexander, and just see how it just radiates off of her. And she's going to be back here with us next week, and we're going to have some more good things for you. And thank you so much, Karen, for joining me tonight.
Thank you, Zion. It was a pleasure and an honor.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, and we'll be seeing you next week.
Okay. Thank you. God bless.
God bless. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is such good information. Information that we really need to put in our bosom and start doing this in our lives. We really have to start getting in bed with God, because I'm going to tell you, when God is your husband, for you men or for us women, you have to understand, when we commit adultery or if we commit fornication, we are defiling the temple of God. That is a place of destruction. And we're thinking that is nothing. We think that we can do it and we can ask God for forgiveness. When we ask for forgiveness, when we ask God to forgive us, that means that we turn away from that sin, that we don't do that anymore, and that we gird up ourselves. Our love for God should be greater than our flesh and our passion and our lust. God said, if you love me, keep my commandments. We must, family, I cry out to you, because I know the importance of it, the importance of you saving yourself and waiting for that person that God has for you, and trusting him and not being told or deceived by men or women that's coming, taking the very most part of you that is sacred, which your God. Don't allow them to do that. Wait on the Lord. He said, those who wait on the Lord, the Most High God, shall renew their strength. And men, it's possible. It's possible. And we're going to have Tim come on here, and he's going to show you how possible it is and what it takes for a man to really do this. You know, because at the end of the day, just imagine a woman and man like Karen that both saved themselves in the bed with God, and they came together, and then they put it in order, because the order was to keep ourselves and to wait, and then that consummation that we make with our mate that God sent us is the most glorious, glorious thing. I'm going to tell you, you haven't made love until you made love in the Most High God with the person that they have for you. So let me tell you, next week, it's going to be hot and heavy in here, because you know what? The heat is not the one that you're used to. It's going to be the Holy Spirit. And that's the one you need to get hot with, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you. That consuming fire, that fire of true love, that fire that keeps you planted and rooted in his truth, and not allow you to let go and do those things that are not pleasing to God. Do you know it does not please God when we do these things? And he said, this body, it doesn't even belong to you. This body is the temple of the Most High God. And every time that you commit fornication, every time that you do anything
a lie or cheat or anything, we defile his temple. So if we love him, we got to start being doers of the word, not just hearers, not talk about I know God. If you say you know God and you're not obeying his commandments, he says you a liar. You a liar. So we need to start seeing who the liars are and stop, because I'm going to tell you, somebody like, oh, you know what, I love God, you know, and the man coming to you talk about he know God and he's reading the scriptures, and vice versa with the woman, she reading scriptures, she telling you I know God, I love God, and her whole lifestyle or his whole lifestyle opposes that, then you know he said she's a liar or he's a liar. We got to start getting upright with the Most High God. If you love him, then we have to act like it. Get in bed with God. Who are you in the bed with? Are you in bed with God? Is he in your bed? I'm saying today, whatever it is, you can cut it off. If it offends you, cut it off. You don't want to be laying in somebody's bed, committing adultery or fornication, and Christ come right then and there. You never know what day and hour that he may come. Repent and ask God for forgiveness and live your life righteously and trust him that he will send you your queen. He will send you your king. So thank you. And what I want to do before I go, I'm going to have Chiquita come up one more time and just reiterate those news for you so that you can know what's going on with Rock Life with Zion and Rock Life Network. And you know I love you. And I'm so grateful that you're rocking with me, because you know there's only one way to rock. And I'll be right back with you. And thanks again for tuning in to Rock Life with Zion.
Thank you so much, Zion. Woo! Give it up for your girl, Zion. Isn't that beautiful? She's going to come right back with you and wrap it up. First of all, we want to thank our special guest, Karen Gatson Alexander. She is the CEO of Taka Productions and relationship advisor of the web series Happy Husbands Wives Club. Karen is also going to be back with Zion next Thursday at 7 p.m. Well, on December 1st through the 3rd, John Blessing Game and New Day Associates presents the 5th annual All-Star Fashion, Film, and Music Industry Weekend in Newark, New Jersey. Tickets are available right now on Eventbrite. Also, the event that John Blessing Game is producing will have the annual Designer Legend Award presented to Bob Sumner, former vice president for Def Jam. Bob Sumner is also credited for launching some of the biggest comedic careers, such as Chris Tucker, Dave Chappelle, Bill Bellamy, Monique, and of course the late great Bernie Mac and others. Now, if you need one-on-one spiritual counseling, or your business is seeking live advertising, or you want to donate or volunteer with us here at Rock Life with Zion, we can be reached at rocklifenetwork@gmail.com or at 800-830-1488. Also, as a reminder, Zion is available for speaking engagements. Again, you can leave details at 800-830-1488. Are you ready for the big breaking news? We kind of teased them with it earlier, right, Zion? All right, that's her right there. She'll be back. But that big breaking news, I'm going to give it to you. Okay, it's so good. It's so
better
good.
not.
We're going to do it together.
Okay,
It's so
okay.
juicy.
Okay.
We're going to do it together.
All right.
But not right now. No,
Oh my God,
right
that's
now.
a tease.
Right now.
Okay,
Oh, we're going to
okay.
tease. We're going to
Okay,
tease them.
okay.
Here comes mashed potatoes. We got to whip it up a
Whip
little
it,
bit.
whip it good.
We got the
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. On October 21st, that lady there, Zion, will be part of the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson Fundraising Gala and Fashion Show. We love her, right? We want her right here. She's going to be part of the Reverend Jesse Jackson Fashion Show Gala and Fashion Show at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills. The event will be hosted by Judge Greg Mathis and Congresswoman extraordinaire Maxine Borders. Absolutely love her, and there are going to be some musical performances. We're going to tell you in the weeks to come, leading up to it. Our very own Zion, there she is. She'll be hosting the fashion show with Rodney Lynn and co-hosting it as well with Kevon Lindley. Did I get it right? Kevon Lindley, there we go. Also, the fashion show contributors include producer John Blessingame. You heard from him earlier today. Thank you again, Mr. Blessingame, for joining Rock Life with Zion. Also, producer and director of designs Rodney Lynn will be there. Zion and Kevon Lindley will serve as fashion coordinators. Fashion will be provided by Gigi Hunter of Gigi Hunter Collections, Beverly Alavase of New York, Walter Najatki of Winston Lee Collections, and Beverly Hills celebrity hairstylist St. Jacques, and Shalina Allen, with makeup provided by Spicy Cosmetics. Breaking news.
Oh my God. First of all, I just want to say one thing. I am so grateful to this lady right here. Doesn't she just do such a wonderful job? I am so grateful to her. Let me do her. Woo! She is so awesome.
That's me in the back.
Okay, that's so awesome. But come on, are you ready right now?
No.
Okay, let me spit it.
We got to do, can we do the mashed
Oh,
We got to
okay,
do the mashed potato.
okay.
Look, you taught us the mashed potato.
Okay.
So we got to
What part we at right now?
Okay, we're at the cutting it part because it's getting close.
Okay.
We're getting
Okay,
close.
okay.
Look, we learned that from you. Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah, okay, we remember. Okay, here we go. Tickets and tables are available right now through Eventbrite, and with all that action, you're definitely going to be, it's going to be worth your time. And your ticket, the Reverend Jesse Jackson Fundraising Gala and Fashion Show, is brought to you by New Day Association, producer John Blasingame and Rodney Lynn, and the Rainbow Push Coalition. Red carpet and reception begins at 6 p.m. Dinner and showtime at 7. That's the place to be, October 21st, Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel. Are you ready
Am I ready?
for the big reveal?
Oh my God. Is this the mashed potatoes with the seasoning?
This is the mashed potatoes.
Okay,
with
you
the
whip
seasoning.
it.
Okay, wait a minute, and then we peel.
Okay, you peel. Okay, so we're peeling the potato. Okay, you're in the kitchen with us right now? Okay, you're in the kitchen. Okay, we peel them. Then we cut them up. We're cutting them up. All right, now we're going to put them in the boiling water. They getting soft. They getting soft. Oh, let me take these out. Oh, okay, they're getting soft right now. Okay, oh, now we're going to take them out. And we're going to smash them. And whip them. And whip them. And whip them good. And then what? Now what? Oh, you put all the seasoning. You put all the good stuff in there, right? All right, here come that seasoning. Da-da-da-da. Who is going to be at the 18th, right? Annual, right? Go ahead, finish.
Reverend Jesse Jackson Fundraising Gala and Celebrity Fashion Show, co-hosted by our own Zion. And this person is going to be co-hosting with Judge Greg Mathis. She is absolutely a Hollywood. She's not a legend. No, she surpassed that. She's an icon. That word can't be used up. That's the big 4-letter word. Right. She's an icon. I mean, she's quintessential Hollywood. And I can't, let me give them a hint. You are the wind beneath my wings.
Hey.
Okay, I can't sing, but I can tell you this.
And her name is,
we can say it together, Barbara Streisand. Can you believe it? When I say triple A-lister, is that Hollywood icon? You think of Barbara Streisand, you think of the big ones. She is one of the big ones that we have left. Yes. She is a huge icon. Barbara Streisand is going to be co-hosting the Reverend Jesse Jackson Fashion Fundraising Gala at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills. She's going to co-host alongside Judge Greg Mathis. I think they make an interesting duo, right? Know, Judge Mathis, Barbara Streisand. Believe me, you got to get your tickets so you can see it for yourself. Tickets and tables are available at Eventbrite right now. Yes. That's it.
Yes, and get up close and personal with Rock Life with Zion, because you know what? You come there. We want to start mingling. We want to make it real sweet. It's going to be awesome. Let me tell you one thing. Chiquita, tell them.
We want you there. We want to see you there. We want you to see, as John Blasingame said earlier when he was with us, Reverend Jesse Jackson is part of global history. He walked arm in arm alongside the great Dr. Martin Luther King. We take our history seriously here. And you're going to be seeing historical figures, Reverend Jesse Jackson, John Blasingame, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Do you understand? And we really mean this. This is history in the making. You're going to be up close and personal with some of these historical Barbara Streisand? I know. I mean, Reverend Jesse Jackson. I mean, these are people in years to come. You're going to look back at some of those photos, and you're going to look back at your ticket from Eventbrite, and you're going to say, I was there.
I was there. So make sure you get your ticket. We're going to be posting everything. And if you need more information, where should they contact me?
They should contact us at 800-830-1488 or rocklifenetwork.com. Did I say Barbara Streisand is going to be there?
Yeah, and let me say
Network
rocklifenetwork@gmail.com.
We're going to do that all week, right?
Okay, again.
rocklifenetwork@gmail.com. Tickets available at Eventbrite. I would encourage you, and I really mean this, I would encourage people to get the tickets immediately.
Yes.
Because everyone in Hollywood, we're just a stone's throw away from Hollywood. We have a lot of people. Zion's been on the phone, believe me, throughout the day as we've tried to have several meetings. And she had to grab a phone throughout our meetings today. She's been on the phone literally talking to people in Hollywood, California today. It's the big news. Everyone's going to be there. When I say everyone's going to be there, I'm not pushing you, but I'm telling you, get your tickets while they're still available. I anticipate it's going to sell out. When you have Barbara Streisand at Reverend Jesse Jackson's fundraising gala, can you imagine the people that are going to be there? Judge Mathis is there, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. People are coming for her alone. People are coming definitely to celebrate Reverend Jesse Jackson. John Blasingame is going to be there, and the people know who John Blasingame is. Yeah, some people are coming for him, so people are coming for this fundraiser. I would suggest that you go to Eventbrite, get your tickets so that you can be part of history. There are going to be so many iconic figures. You can easily go to Hollywood and see celebrities. We see them all the time.
All the time. And you know what? We're going to put a link so you can just click, go right there, find out more about this event. We want to see you up there, up close and personal. It's going to be a blast. And we just love you and thank you just for rocking with Zion, because there's only one way to rock. And Barbara Streisand, she's going to be rocking with us. She's going to be rocking with Zion. Trust that, because we're in the house where it's going on. One way to rock, baby, and that's where you're Shia Christ. Thank you, and ciao.